Hello and welcome to the VEST webinar series. I am Carlo Molon, and today I will be the moderator and also I will showcasing sheet set. We had small issues with the GoToWebinar, so it will be only me attending this webinar as a presenter. I hope you can see my screen well. Today the topic is about sheet set management in HyDraw. Um, there are plenty of questions coming back and forth with the customer. I'm basically responsible for training and support of VEST software in Europe. So I interact with many customers, and frequently they ask me about how to manage multi-sheet. And normally the standard solution is to work in a single document, but there are different techniques, and today I want to show you how to use a sheet set in HyDraw CAD in order to work in multi-sheet, and then we'll try to make a small diagram. So this webinar will last about 30 minutes, and it will take about 15-20 to cover the main part of the topic. Then I will draw a small diagram. If you have questions, feel free to post. I'll be able to answer directly during the presentation. So when we speak about a sheet set, first let us understand what is a sheet set. Sheet set are managed in AutoCAD and in HydroCAD through the sheet set manager, which you can open with this small icon that is on the top left menu, or when you click on the top left H for HyDraw, you will be able to open a sheet set. If you don't have a sheet set, you will just be able to create a new, and shortly I will start from scratch explaining how to work with sheet set. But basically, let me open a sheet set. That's it. So the sheet set is a collection of paper space. This is a very small example of 2 pages diagram. And if I double click on one of these power unit, as you can see, it will open a different document. In this case, it will be a power unit. And if I click on the second page, it will show a manifold. So basically, a sheet set it allows a user to collect different pages from different diagrams, or even on the same file, and combine them into a project, which then can be used to publish, to share with customer. Interestingly, it is also possible to manage attributes that are common across the sheet set belonging to a project. So basically, there are attributes in a sheet set. If we right click on the sheet set attributes, we can see that there are attributes like a name, and there are also custom properties possible. Today we'll try to understand how these entities can be pulled together into title block, and how we can work with the sheet set more efficiently. Of course, we'll speak about also some limitations that are in sheet set related to what we do with HyDraw CAD. In a sheet set already created, it is possible to add additional sheet. We could add a new sheet, or we could import from another one. So just to show you an example, I now import from a drawing. I take my distribution manifold, and I want to import, and now I have a third page, which is now visible here. But now, as you can see, of 2, so I will be able to change the number of pages by going into the properties. I will be able to change the number of sheets, which is a custom property, and click OK. And now if I regen the drawing, I will see that now that it's page 3. And similarly, we will be able to change properties for this drawing. So the sheet will be page 3, and the title is maybe distribution manifold, and so on. And now if we regenerate, now the same number of pages will be up to date. So this is basically the end result of today's webinar. But now we'll try to understand how to build a template that will work for our sheet set, how to create new pages in a sheet set, and eventually we'll put a small diagram in it. So let me close these drawings. As you can see, there are different DWG files combined together. And we start from scratch. First, I want to create a template. So let me close a sheet set and I will start from scratch. So I want to create a template with A3 size. And if you work with Imperial, you can make a C size or you could go for A2. Let me make it just an A3. I already have a template which is basically has already different paper space, A0, A1, A2, A4. I keep just the A3, so I'll delete all the other ones. There is no need to keep all. In my A3 page, I want a frame, so I'll just draw a rectangle, drafting rectangle, starting from 0, 0 up to 420, 2970, which is an A3. I also want another frame. Let me do offset 10 millimeter from this rectangle. And then if you want, you can add the midpoint. So 10 millimeter. And we can use mirror commands to mirror entities. Midpoint, F8. Let me do again. Mirror. Shift right click to select as net point. And so on. And also we do here. Shift right click, midpoint, 10 millimeter. And also from the other edge, midpoint. We could combine all this into a block. It's not really relevant. If you want to build a block, you will just go to Insert, Create a Block, and we can give a name to this block. Let's call it border A3. The block will require an origin, which we want to be the 0, 0, and the entities, which are all the drawing entities that we have. Click OK, and now we have created our frame block. Let me just expand. If you have questions, just really feel free to post. I just expand in the question section. Now, most of you may already know that in a block we can have attributes. Now there is nothing. A lot of users of AutoCAD in general do not know enough about attributes. Attributes are very handy because they are controlled outside the block. So if you put a text inside the block, you will need to enter in the block to modify it, while attributes can be controlled by outside and also can be controlled by PDM system, for instance. So let me build now the title block with some attributes and tie these attributes with the drawing entities that I need. So my rectangle is maybe 120 by 80. That's too large, maybe 40, and we make it 30 millimeter here. Let me explode it. I want offset. I would take 10 millimeters, and I want to make some rows into my title block. I also want to offset. I leave room for a logo and trim. And so this is the place for my logo, and let me just make a small circuit as a logo. And now I want to put some text here. It is possible to type in text, but if we want to have attributes, we'll go to Insert and define attributes. Now attributes require a tag. So the tag is what will identify the attribute from outside of the block. So I want an attribute called project name. The tag should never contain spaces. Prompt can have a name of the project. Now, if you leave an attribute like this, it means that it must be populated manually. But if we click here on the insert field, we are able to take attributes from the file itself. So it can be drawing attribute, file attribute, or sheet set attribute. So now the project is driven by the sheet set. So I'll define it as a sheet set, current sheet set project name. Okay, and the text height is maybe 4mm, and I'll put it here. That's my project name. Now I want to create a new attribute called title, drawing title. And now this will be the sheet set, the current sheet title, which I will put somewhere here. Now, if we want to tie the number, the page number with the number of sheets, so we'll create a new attribute called sheet number, and this will be the current sheet number, which we put, and maybe we justify on the right and put somewhere here. This is the sheet number. Then we put a small text here, and we type of sheet of, and we add another one, define new attribute, total sheets, and the default will be a custom attribute, current sheet set custom, and the attribute, we really need to remember the name of this attribute. Let's call it sheet number, total sheet number. We'll need to create an attribute, a custom attribute in the definition of the sheet set. So total sheet number will be the attribute. Let me take note. So next time I'll put it here. I put on the second screen, so it's there. And I click OK, and position somewhere here. We could add additional lines. Let's keep it simple. So this is my small title block. Now I create a block, which will be my title block webinar. And the point, usually for a title block, it's better to be the bottom right corner. And the entities are these ones. These are the entities. I click OK, and now I have made my title block. So now I want to save this as a template, because I want to use this as a basic template for my new sheet set pages when I create them. So to create a template, I simply do a save as template, and I'll call it A3 webinar sheet sets. And you can give the name you want. I just give this name so that I can remember it. Now I can close it, and now I can start my new sheet set. So I click on the sheet set, and now I create a new sheet set. When you create a new sheet set, you can use an example sheet set. And my recommendation is that when you have created your standard sheet set, you will keep it as a default for creating. But now I will go for existing drawing because I want to make it from scratch. So my sheet set will be called VEST Webinar 2024. That's the sheet set name. The location where the sheet set will be located is this one, and you can change it. Please note, HyDraw files are DWG. Sheet set file are called DST. The extension is DST. So the DST is basically a collection of DWG file in one single file. So the DST will collect paper space from different DWG file. There are properties. So these are the properties for my sheet set. So the project name is what will be in the title block. So if I type VEST webinar project name, I expect it to be in the title block when I start creating new pages. The template for new files, this is where you are going to select which is the template that you want to use for the sheet set. So I'll take my A3 webinar sheet sets. This is the title block template that I have just created. In case there are multiple layouts, you will be asked to select which is the layout you want to use, because remember, a sheet set is always collecting layouts, paper space, not model space. So I'll take the plot A3, which was the only layout that I left in my DWT file. I click OK, and now we are good to go. So I can click OK on. It is possible to import drawings. Now I don't do that. I just go on and finish. And now that's my VEST webinar. Now it's time to start working on my webinar. So I will create a new sheet, and it is asking me the number and the title. So it's the sheet 1, and the title is power unit, main power unit. That's it, main drawing. Okay, so that is the main drawing. And now I want a second page, page 2, and that will be a distribution manifold. And then I want a third page, maybe control block, and so on. Okay, so doing this, we are creating 2, 3 different pages and different files actually. If I double click on one of them, it will open my title block. And as you see, I see VEST webinar main drawing 1 of 2. I forgot to add the attribute called total number of sheet. So the text was total sheet number. And this should have been done earlier. In the edit custom properties, I am able to add a custom property called the total sheet number, and the value is maybe 3 in this case. And okay. And now, as you can see, by creating exactly that attribute, automatically I get page 1 of 3. And if I add additional pages, I will need to manually change the number of pages here. Unfortunately, I didn't find out, and I think it's a current limitation of AutoCAD in general. I didn't find out a way to count the number of layout. So you will be needed to control the number of sheets manually and change the number here. Then when you regenerate or open again the drawing, you will see it up to date. And as you can see, main drawing, distribution manifold, control block. So automatically we get the title populated, the title block populated with the project name and also the description of the file. And if you create more attributes, those will appear in the way you want to control in the title block. Now, let's see how to publish these entities into a unique PDF so that we can see how to then plot a multi-sheet drawing and maybe share with customer or print it in different way. To do that, let me start making a small diagram. Remember that HyDraw is designed to work in model space, not in paper space. So although here we have, we can see the paper space, but in order to make a diagram, we need to go to the model space. Everything we do in the model space, and we already made some webinars in the past showing the interaction between model space and paper space. Everything we do in the model space can be displayed in the paper space. In order to work more efficiently, I normally like to have some borders showing me the physical location of my border directly in the model space. So 420 by 2970 is the A3. So I know that by drawing inside here, it will be exactly in the paper space. So if here I go to the subsystem and take a motor pump assembly, a power unit, let me take a small power unit and place it here. Well, let me explode it. I don't want it to be a subsystem. And then I want to make some, maybe I look for some components. I look for a H4WE %16J. So I'll take an NG16 valve, maybe I take 2 of them. I go and take a relief valve. DB, let me take a cart are ethos. I want to flip it, and I'll make some connection lines from the pump. We go to the valve, and from the valve we go to the other valve, and here we connect them, and we go to the tank, and we make an envelope of a manifold, and we define a port. That's my P port, and that's I think it has gone on a different page. Sorry, but yes, it's on the second screen. It's a safe flange, 1 inch code stick, well, slightly larger. That's a tank line. And so on. So whatever we draw here will be visible in the main drawing. It is not. So let me add a layout. I thought it was there, but let me just from the model space. I think I had selected when I built the block, I included also the layout. Let me insert the view, which is exactly this one. Enter. And this one, I want to keep it 1 by 1. And let me move it here to the 0, 0 location. Yes, so this is the layout displaying the drawing inside. As you can see, there is a grid visible. If you double click and press F7, the grid will be disappeared. So it's easier to view the block without the grid. It is possible to work directly from the paper space. So if you double click, whatever you are doing here will be applicable to the drawing itself. So if you want to place a port, A1 port as a BSP port, 1 inch, double click, you will be able to place it in the drawing itself, and this is going to be in the model space as well. But it's not always so handy. In this case, the other thing is that the AutoCAD engine is also showing the colors as a preview of the plot, so with black and white and not with the ISO color. Whatever we do here, if we go back to the model space, we can see that it's made with HyDraw rules and ISO standards. So we can work bidirectionally on the paper space or on the model space. But my recommendation is really to work only in the model space because it is more handy. I don't see questions. Feel free really to post the questions because I will have some time to answer to them. Match properties, this with this one, stretch. If we move to the other page, we can move that really through the file or directly from the sheet set management. So you can double click and it will move directly to the other pages. So the main drawing, the distribution manifold, and the control block. So in the distribution manifold, we'll take maybe another subsystem. Let me take a manifold assembly. And now I can see that there is nothing here, so I'll do again the same approach. I'll make a new view of my paper space here, and I can define the scale, and F7, I can delete the. Normally, I extend the frame for the layout view to the extent of the drawing so that the lines will not be plotted. And similarly, we can go to the control block. Now, earlier I was mentioning the limitation of working with sheet set. Really, the biggest one is that it is not possible to make a unique part list across multiple sheet set, because HyDraw part list will work on a file and not on multiple files automatically. So what you can do is you can make, and I see some customer doing that. So they make a part list page by page. So this is a technique pretty popular. So instead of making a unique part list at the end, you just make single part list for what is available in the drawing. And this is not bad at all, because it will give clarity of what is available in the drawing. So now let me make some room here. So I'll stretch a bit. Of course, you will need to find a room for your entities, your drawing entities. And the other thing is that you may adopt a larger paper space if you try to fit a diagram and part list in the same document. So now this is the page one, and the second page, I will need to go to the model or double click and stay here. You make a part list for the selection and insert from here to here, and that will be my part list. Like you can see, it is possible to directly really work in the from the model space, from the paper space in the model space. It's not always that handy, but practically it is possible. So let me save and also save the main drawing. The other technique would be you generate the parts on the single files, export to Excel, and then assemble in Excel. And then you can import the part list on the last sheet. That is also another viable solution. Now, if we want to plot the entire sheet set, this is doable directly through the sheet set manager. In the sheet set manager, it is possible to generate PDF for selected entities, or by using this, you can publish directly to a PDF or to a plotter. I normally plot to PDF. And let me go to January sheet set webinar, West webinar 24. I can save. And now this publish will create a multi-sheet PDF with all the 3 pages. Of course, the last one is empty. I didn't put anything, but let's see the end result. It's open on the last page. Oh. Let me do again, PDF. Support January MD2's webinar. Sheet set. Best webinar, yes. It had plotted only 1 page. So now it's one of 3 total pages. Let me open and show it. And there it is. So we have page 1 with our bill of material, page 2, and page 3. Remember that the PDF generated directly from the AutoCAD engine has all the layers, has very high quality because it's all vectorial entities, so all the text can be edited if you have editors, but can be also found just by using the search inside the PDF. So the 07, and it is able to find a text inside the PDF. So I always recommend to use directly the PDF printer that is included in the AutoCAD engine. Normally, my recommendation, my preferred, if I do a single plot, a single page plot will be DWG to PDF, while if you do the plot, the publish, it will use directly the same publish to PDF that is embedded in the AutoCAD engine. Okay, there is a question if we can have jumps. Jump jumping reference. This is how they are called in the also in the norm, the ISO 1219, can be generated. It's a bit manual process, but let me show you how you can do it. So maybe A1 is going on a different sheet. Let me expand a bit this line. So it is possible to put a jumping reference to this line, and this jumping reference is maybe A1, and it's going to page 3. And this is not mandatory. If you want, you can define the grid A3, A4, B4, but let's leave it as is, A1, 3. So now I will need to go to page 3 and make a line and use the same jumping reference. The name will be A1 and it's coming from page 1. Well, now it put on the other end, but yes, you understand the logic behind it. If you do that inside the same document, really they are tied together. So there is a benefit in doing inside the same file. By doing here, you do manually, but you have not much control. But still you can add jumping reference, but still it's a manual process, so it's not fully automated. And I understand that the precision of the drawing will require a bit of correct and easy reference between the two, but at present what you can do is manually define a tag and point to the other page manually. If you do in the same drawing and you do the jumping reference, call it always A1. Now they are tied together, so if you change it, they will change in the same, but this technique works only at present in the same file. If we have more people adopting sheetset, then we may really consider also creating a cross-reference and more intelligence around this technique. The biggest benefit I can see in using sheetset is that all the operations are faster, lighter, because the files normally are smaller. There are not too many components in the same drawing, and you can switch between documents really quickly. You don't waste too much time with plotting, because basically if you do good template, then all the pages are preset for plotting, very well configured. Cons are, like I said, the fact that part lists cannot be now generated in one single operation across all the sheet set. Jumping reference must be made manually. And the other cons is that we have multiple files, multiple DWG files. If you use this technique, it will be possible to create a sheet set of sheets belonging to the same file, but really there it's not much benefit in working like that. So data management is a bit different, because instead of managing one file, you need to manage more files on the same project. But if you consider also that sheet set is representing a big project where you can have multiple people working simultaneously, while it is not possible to work simultaneously on one file, here we are working on multiple files. So you could have colleagues working on part of your project and assemble the project in a sheet set, which could be an interesting benefit of the workflow. I don't see any other question. I think we are done. We went some minutes later than expected. Let me switch back to the presentation. So we have another webinar, a couple of webinars in, well, actually 3 webinars in February. So the one dedicated mainly to HyDraw will be on February 27. I will be showcasing more library manager related stuff, because I see customer struggling a bit with populating libraries. So if you are interested in learning more about library management, please register, sign up for the custom libraries. If you are interested in manifold design process. The February 8th NetBlock and MD Tools is interesting one because we showcase new technology, cloud technologies for manifold design, while the February 20 is more related to library management for MD Tools. Also there we keep having questions about creating new cavities, importing cavities and things like that. So it will be more dedicated on management for library. I don't see any other questions, so I thank you a lot for attending. There was quite a good audience today, and so see you next time for the next webinar. Thank you.